Devil fruits are mysterious fruits that grant their eaters superhuman powers, and they have played a major role in the story of One Piece. Between the three devil fruit types in the One Piece universe, Logia are canonically the rarest and arguably the most powerful, able to transform into elemental humans. Logia users are susceptible to only haki-infused attacks. From the most villainous Blackbeard to the most terrifying admiral in the Marines, Logia users reign as some of the most commanding combatants in all of One Piece. So far, only a few Logia users have been shown to have awakened their fruits, but in this video, we will take into consideration what would happen if each Logia user got awakened, and we will rank all 12 Logia devil fruits that have been revealed until now based on their awakened powers. We start off with the weakest Logia fruit in this list, the Numa Numa no Mi, or the Swamp fruit. This devil fruit was eaten by Caribou, and it allowed him to transform into a swamp and control mud. With this power, Caribou could create bottomless swamps which he used to trap his enemies. He also stored objects inside his body, hence a limitless supply of weapons to his arsenal, which made him a very difficult opponent to defeat. Defensively speaking, the swamp fruit can absorb the impact of an opponent's attack, reducing the damage the user receives, but offensively, it is practically useless. Once awakened, the swamp fruit can turn out to be extremely lethal, especially when facing against a large number of opponents, as you could immobilize, trap, and restrict the movement of every opponent on the ground by turning your entire surrounding into swamp. Next up, we have Moku Moku no Mi, or the smoke fruit. Once consumed, it transforms the eater into a smoke man, granting them the incredible ability to manipulate, generate, and transform into smoke at will. As demonstrated by Smoker, the user can adjust the density of smoke, solidify it to maintain a firm hold over opponents, and unlike the swamp fruit, the user can soar through the air by converting their lower body into smoke. This Logia fruit is a perfect counter to a fire Logia, as demonstrated during Smoker's and Ace's confrontation in Alabasta. Awakening the smoke fruit could allow the user to do amazing things. For example, create endless smoke clones, create a smoke barrier to protect yourself from attacks, and create a ginormous smoke dome similar to Doflamingo's birdcage to trap your enemies and suffocate them to death. Moving up the ladder, we have the Gasu Gasu no Mi, or the Gas fruit. This Logia fruit is a superior version to the smoke fruit, and its powers are almost exactly the same as the smoke fruit, with the only one primary difference. The harmless smoke is replaced by poisonous smoke or gas, which can easily be ignited. 𝚙𝚘𝚙𝚢 demonstrated the deadly offensive capabilities of the gas by poisoning his opponents to death or blowing them up if awakened. The awakened gas fruit abilities would mirror the smoke fruit, but because of the gas, the scale of damage it would do to its opponents would be exponentially greater. Next on the list is the Yuki Yuki no Mi, or the snow fruit. This snow fruit is a weaker version of the ice fruit, which will debut later in this video. This Logia fruit allows the user to create and manipulate snow at will, which includes controlling the density of snow. It was eaten by Monette, and with this snow Logia, she showcased a range of deadly snow-based attacks and effective snow defense and traps, some of which include snow blizzard, snow barrier, and ice spikes. Even in its non-awakened state, this Logia fruit covers a wide range of land, hence it's safe to assume once awakened, the user can transform an entire country into a snow wonderland by permanently changing its weather, basically making them a living, breathing natural calamity. Anyone facing an awakened snow Logia would be in for a nasty frost-biting surprise. Despite being insanely powerful in cold conditions, snow Logia is extremely susceptible to any form of heat, but the Suna no Mi, or the sand fruit, doesn't have this problem. The sand Logia allows the user to produce, manipulate, and transform into sand at will, thus turning them into a sand human. In a desert area, the sand powers make the user near enough invincible, as demonstrated by Crocodile. With this power, you can create spears and swords out of sand, as well as storm sand, coach quicksand, and dehydrate any living being on contact. Unlike many other Logias, sand Logia is one of two Logia fruits whose element can be infused with haki. This alone makes it extremely broken and a nightmare for any opponent to deal with. Similar to the snow fruit in base form, the attacks from sand Logia cover enormous area, so an awakening would give the user a monumental advantage, mostly because of the fact awakened Logia can change surroundings to suit their elemental nature. In Crocodile's case, he can turn an entire nation into a desert battleground. Moving up the ranks, we have the Mera no Mi, or the flame fruit. This Logia fruit allows the user to transform into fire and have the ability to create and control the element of fire at will. Offensively speaking, fire is one of the most feared and destructive elements out there, which make the flame LOGIA incredibly deadly and powerful. It was originally eaten by Ace, but after his death, it was reborn and eaten by his brother Sabo. The ability to manipulate and create fire allows the user to create a wide range of deadly attacks, use the element of fire as a means of transportation, cook food, and even use the fire defensively to protect you from enemy attacks and traps. It is one of the few LOGIA devil fruits which is the most useful on a day-to-day basis. Even in base state, Ace could create ginormous fire-based attacks capable of changing the weather pattern of an entire country, which is proven by the fact when Ace arrived in Drum Island, it stopped snowing for a few days. So when awakened, one cannot fathom how dangerous, destructive, and useful its powers are going to be. Although realistically, the 𝚲𝚙𝚎𝚑𝚝 with the ice fruit should be weaker than the fire LOGIA, since ice is weak to fire. From what we have seen in One Piece, the ice LOGIA holds a slight edge over the fire LOGIA, mostly because it was eaten by an user many times powerful than Ace, former Marine Admiral Aokiji aka Kujan. Like all other LOGIA fruits, the user of the ice fruit can create and manipulate the element, which in this case is ice. The ice fruit is a superior version of the snow fruit. It is the only LOGIA fruit, or rather the only devil fruit, which makes the user immune to the sea, any devil fruit's weakness, mostly because with this devil fruit you can instantly freeze any liquid, so seawater is not an exception. Similar to the fire LOGIA, offensively and defensively, it is one of the most powerful devil fruits out there, mainly because with ice manipulation you can create limitless shields and limitless weapons, ranging from razor sharp spears to icy cold deadly swords. Like the fire LOGIA, this fruit is extremely useful in a day-to-day basis, especially taking into consideration you become a living, breathing refrigerator capable of preserving limitless supply of food, and on top of that, the ability to instantly freeze seawater means you can reach any destination without any roadblocks. Despite ice LOGIA being incredibly weak against any form of heat in its awakened form, it held off extremely well against an awakened magma user for 10 days, and this battle resulted in the ice side of the battleground completely frozen, with the weather permanently converted into a winter weather. Entering the top 5, we have the Mori Mori no Mi, or the plant fruit. This LOGIA fruit was recently introduced to the series, and similar to the ice fruit, its natural weakness is fire. Like the ice LOGIA, the plant fruit was eaten by an admiral named Ryokugu aka Green Bull. Fundamentally speaking, ice is more destructive in nature than a plant, so the main reason the plant LOGIA is superior to ice LOGIA is because the plants created by this LOGIA fruit can be infused with haki. From what Green Bull has demonstrated with the plant LOGIA, you can sprout all kinds of vegetation from your body as well as control and transform into it. The user of this LOGIA fruit will never tire or go hungry in battle, so essentially has infinite stamina because they can suck the fluid-filled nutrients out of an opponent's body to fuel their own body. This is the reason why Green Bull is stated to have eaten nothing for almost 5 years. Being a plant, it is also possible Green Bull can create food from sunlight by using photosynthesis, as demonstrated from his battle with Kaido's followers and the Akazaya 9. The plant LOGIA is too overpowered and too destructive in battle, as shown by the fact Green Bull defeated the almighty king and queen in mere seconds. Also, even with Yamato, Momonosuke, and Akazaya 9 outnumbering Green Bull, he had a massive edge over them. Offensively speaking, the Magu Magu no Mi, or the magma fruit, is the strongest LOGIA fruit. Let me reiterate, offensively, the strongest devil fruit to have ever existed. It was eaten by the current fleet admiral Akainu, as stated by Oda. If Akainu were to replace Luffy as a pirate with this power alone, he would solo the One Piece verse. Anyone who consumes the magma fruit becomes a magma human and can create and manipulate magma at will. Elementally speaking, magma is the hottest element out there, even hotter than fire itself, which makes it extremely dangerous and deadly, and you definitely wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of its attack, or else you'll face the same fate as Ace, getting turned into a donut. Along with corrosion and attacks at such high temperatures, the magma-based attacks from this LOGIA fruit can be excessively destructive and have highly explosive properties. One attack is enough to cause an explosion capable of dealing massive damage across the battlefield. With the aid of the magma LOGIA, Akainu was able to go toe-to-toe with the almighty Whitebeard, and after awakening this devil fruit, Akainu beat Aokiji in a 10-day battle royale, which resulted in him being appointed as the new fleet admiral and Aokiji losing a leg. It is even said Akainu showed pity to Aokiji in that battle, hence why Aokiji only lost a leg, not his entire life. The magma LOGIA might be offensively the most powerful, but overall, taking into consideration the speed, defense, and usefulness, the Pika Pika no Mi, or the light fruit, has a slight edge, earning it the top 3 spot in this list. Eaten by another admiral, Kizaru, the light LOGIA allows the user to produce, manipulate, and transform into light at will, turning them into a light human. The light LOGIA is one of the most researched LOGIA fruit out there, and its deadly laser abilities have been incorporated into countless robots created by the world government called the PX or the Pacifistas. Speed is power, and light is the fastest substance ever. Hence, a single light attack from Kizaru can have severe consequences to the opponent on the receiving end of the attack. In terms of day-to-day use, it is one of the most useful devil fruit, since transportation is a piece of cake, as you can travel from one place to another in a split second, and not to mention, you will never have to worry about your lights going out, since you yourself are illuminated 24/7. With the aid of the light LOGIA, Kizaru has severely overpowered and beaten up many powerful opponents, which include the supernovas and the straw hats. If base form Kizaru alone is this deadly, imagine what awakened Kizaru would be capable of doing. He could bend time and space. On the penultimate spot, we have the Goro Goro no Mi, or the Rumble fruit. Although light is 90% faster than electricity, electricity as a whole has the capability of causing monumental damage and is much more useful during the battle. This lightning LOGIA was eaten by a Skypian named Anel, who after eating this devil fruit could create, control, and transform into electricity at will. Because electricity has the biggest range of users among all other LOGIAs, both in terms of offense and defense, the user of this devil fruit becomes immensely strong. What's frightening about this devil fruit is that the range of the electric attacks spans as wide as the entire One Piece world, because you can attack your opponents with lightning bolts from anywhere in the sky. Some specific abilities which Enel has showcased with this LOGIA fruit are lightning creation, lightning blast, lightning flight, and he even revived himself from dying by jump-starting his heart with electricity. Finally, the strongest LOGIA devil fruit to exist in the One Piece world. This LOGIA fruit is the only devil fruit that doesn't behave like a LOGIA. It behaves more like a Paramecia, because the user cannot turn their body intangible. Despite this, the Yami Yami no Mi, or the darkness fruit, is the strongest LOGIA to ever exist. In fact, it might actually be the strongest devil fruit to ever exist, because against the darkness fruit, all devil fruit powers are totally useless. This terrifying LOGIA power is a pure embodiment of darkness, eaten by the most evil individual in One Piece, Blackbeard. With the aid of the darkness LOGIA, Blackbeard defeated many powerful individuals and hunted down countless devil fruit users. Without this devil fruit, Blackbeard could have never defeated Ace, hence he wouldn't have obtained Whitebeard's tremor fruit. It is even speculated, because of the darkness fruit, Blackbeard can eat multiple devil fruits. As per its name, the darkness fruit sucks anything into the void of the darkness and destroys it. Even light isn't able to escape its dark gravitational pull. The sole reason the darkness LOGIA exists is to destroy any light that appears in its sight. If awakened, the terror the darkness LOGIA would bring to the One Piece world is beyond imagination.